Test. Hi guys, welcome to another Blender tutorial. Today I'm gonna show you another procedural shader. It's very simple. I know guys, I upload some shitty content on my channel recently, but I don't have time, to record and to figure out something cooler. I don't want to stall, another stuff from another creator, so yeah, just be forgiven, okay? I'm gonna work if I'm gonna have more time, and I'm gonna upload some cooler tutorial, but I think this is cool too, whatever. So what is about this shader? I can have some kind of pop-ups stuff, and I can change the color on the ground, and pop-up stuff looks like some kind of rocks or maybe some kind of ancient buildings, whatever. So let's dive into this fucking shader. I'm assuming you know how to add plane, subdivide the plane, add material, and go to the material tab, and of course on the settings, displacement and bump or whatever. Now I'm searching those nodes by shift A, of course. So I have textures coordinate, connect to the vector math, and vector math change to the subtract, and this is the value of 0.5 on every direction. Copy this vector math and change this to multiply, and the values must be 2 on the x, y, and z direction, yes, of course. And I have from generate, it's very important. Now you can add another texture. I have Vanoi texture, but you can add a wave texture, and you basically change this is some side note, change the distortion on the wave texture, because waves is kind of like waves, yes, texture, but you changing the distortion and you're gonna have different results, different pop-up stuff, if that makes sense. I'm using this Vanoi texture or whatever it's called. I'm changed this to 4D, of course, and I have this direction, and yeah, so I can change the scale, of course, on those pop-up stuff, and right here on the value too. Now this go to the math and change this to subtract, and I have values 0.5, whatever. Wait guys, I'm gonna just select this and move this because I must fucking move this and zoom in. Now I have math, change this to power, yes, and you controlling the power. Of course I have 0.4 as you can see, and another math, change this to greater than that, and I have this kind of value. Play around, okay, but I think this settings looks pretty nice, whatever. Play around with this shit as usual. And displacement, so greater than that goes to the displacement, yes, and we control the scale, of course, whatever, and displacement go to the displacement. So this is it, but I have another setup that I can change the color on the ground and on those pop-up stuff, not using that product. Basically from this Vanoi texture, as you can see, wait guys, I have this math and change it to multiply, yes, and I have vector math and change it to scale, and basically as you can see I have this Vanoi texture from the distance or whatever, place this to the multiply, and this goes to the second scene on this vector math on the scale, and multiply goes to the vector, as you can see, yes. And what next? Next I have a scores mix RGB, and I connect this scale to the second color. The first color I changed to black, okay, so this vector math, the scale goes to the second color on this mix RGB. Now this is important, okay, this setup on this fucking color ramp. So I have color ramp connect to the factor right here, and play around with the values. Basically, if you want to see results, just of course select this node and control shift and left click, and you're gonna see the results what the node doing. Okay, so just control shift and left click and you're gonna see what the results you have on this color ramp. And this goes to the factor, and this mix RGB goes to another color ramp, but basically flips those values or play around. Okay, I'm flipping those values as you can see, and this mix RGB goes to the factor right here. And wait guys, I'm gonna select this. Fuck, come on, wait guys, because my mouse as usual. This goes basically you're gonna need two principal shader or whatever it's called. Yes, this principal BSDF or whatever it's called. Fuck. So just shift D, duplicate this, and if you wanna see a pattern, just hold control shift and right something like this though. Control shift and just right. As you can see, I created this mix shader. Yes, this is called pattern shortcut. Wait guys, because I don't need this. So control shift and right click and just drag this to connect those two, and you're gonna have mix shader. Yes, and I connected this shader to this shader and this to this shader, and this color ramp that I have right here, this all shit connected, goes to the factor, and this goes to the right here to the surface or whatever it's called. And basically, if you're gonna play around on this color ramp, cut the values, you're gonna have like, yeah, this shader goes to the ground, this shader goes to the fucking pop-up stuff. Okay, it's that simple. And like I said, you can add another noise, but noise texture doesn't work on this. Wave texture, brick texture, but you're gonna have some crazy stuff. Okay, I'm suggesting to using maybe wave texture or vanilla texture and plays around with this shit. You're gonna have some kind of agent fuck my English, some kind of rocky shit. You can place, you know, some kind of desert and some kind of rocks. It's pretty cool looking. Or maybe some kind of, you know, ruins on this fucking. You can play around with this shit, of course, on the scale, on the location, right here on this roundness, and right here basically you playing this shit on this vanilla and on this subtract too. Yeah, this is this tutorial. Maybe I'm gonna build more, maybe I'm gonna show you the images or not. And basically you just connect this, yes, textures, coordinate and mapping, and you just place in your textures whatever you want, yes, to the base color, to this fucking roughness and to the bump. And you can do this to the surface too, yes, whatever texture you want. But I'm suggesting to use maybe some kind of, you know, ground texture, of course, on the ground, and some kind of maybe rock texture. It's gonna look cool. This is not like, you know, another canyon shader, not. This is more like some kind of landscape shader, but some kind of rocks pop up, if that makes sense. Yeah, very simple stuff. Like I said, I don't have time, guys, to figure out more, to be honest, because I'm working. I record this. I have, you know, something like 20 minutes, half an hour, and to record some content on the channel. So sorry, guys, but I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna trust me, guys. Some cooler tutorials I'm working on. So stay tuned for that. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Build this if you want. Okay, thank you for watching. See you on the next video, guys.